Okay, so now I've got this new Logic 10.3 and I've been able to update my Mac with an external SSD running Sierra. I've now been able to solve a problem that we've had for a while. If you go back a couple of years, I did a tutorial showing how you can save your own custom-made channel strip presets into the library alongside the factory presets instead of in the user patches location, right? And I put the video online and people went, yeah, thank you, and followed it, right, if they wanted to. But then El Capitan came out and people started appearing in the comments saying, well, where you said that the file path is for the channel strip factory location, it's not there. I can't find it. And from that point on, it disappeared. Apple hidden it somewhere. And I couldn't really help out because I was still running Mavericks, right? But I've got Sierra now on this SSD and running the new Logic 10.3. So the first thing I wanted to know was where the hell have they hidden the factory location? Because I want to save my custom channel strip presets into the factory library alongside the factory ones like I always do. I don't want to save them in the user patch location, right? So, oh God, I spent a couple of hours today hunting around, and to help me do that, because I thought, well, maybe they've clearly hidden these folders somewhere, right? So I got this free software called Funta, and you just install it and switch it on, and it shows all the hidden files on your Mac. And bloody hell, as soon as I did that, tons of new Logic locations appeared, which appeared to have patches in them for the channel strip presets, right? And I tried saving into those, but no, none of it worked. I was like, yeah, what's going on? You don't need to show hidden files. Finally, I was about to give up and I thought, well, it can't be, but let me just try something here. You don't need to show hidden files. Where Apple have hidden the factory library for channel strip presets is here. Right? They've hidden it. You go to applications, just your regular applications where your programs are. You find the Logic 10.3 icon. This is what you double click to open Logic. Right click, show package contents. And inside that, there's a subfolder called contents. Open it out, and there's a folder called resources. Go into that, and right down at the bottom is a folder called patches, and that is the location for factory channel strip presets. The crafty buggers, have hidden it inside the package contents now. So what you do is you find this patches folder, and you don't rename it, don't do anything like that. All you do is you drag a shortcut and drop it into your left hand column here for your finder. I've done it already there, look. So inside patches are the subcategories for channel strip presets: audio, instruments, auxiliary and output channel strip presets. Right, so there I've made a shortcut to this patches folder, and I can just click that anytime. It takes me straight there. Okay, right, boom, done. So this is the way it works now. Let's make an audio track, a raw audio track. Here's its channel strip. Now, to create a custom channel strip preset for anything, whether it's an audio track, instrument, or whatever, you can either load a factory preset from the library, tweak and modify it, change some of the effects, do whatever you like, and then save. You can do it like that. Or you can build one from scratch. Okay, now, there's something very important here on the channel here for the track, right? With the library open, you may not have noticed, but there's this tiny little blue arrow, and it's pointing from the library to this setting slot at the top of the channel. And this setting slot is the top tier level slot for the whole channel. Everything else lives inside the setting, and the channel strip presets in the library are all channel strip settings, right? If you click on the setting slot, you can reset the channel strip, go to the next channel strip, previous channel strip setting, etc. Right? Okay. So this blue arrow is pointing at setting. Now this is a channel for an audio track, so I'm going to just add some basic effects. Okay, I'm going to add a noise gate. and then I'm going to add a compressor, and then I'm going to add an EQ. Right, standard stuff that you want on an audio channel: a gate, a compressor, and an EQ. Right, and I'm not going to do anything to these. I'm just going to leave them with their default whatever. Okay. Now the blue arrow, as I said, has to, before we save our channel strip preset, the arrow has to be pointing at the setting slot. But any of these effects here in the effects part of the channel here, if you bring your mouse to the left of them, the arrow appears but grey, and if you click it, now the blue arrow is pointing at the noise gate in the effects rack here, and the library switches to show noise gate presets to load into the noise gate. If I move the mouse to the right of the compressor in the FX slot and activate the grey arrow, now it's gone blue, and the blue arrow is pointing at the compressor in the effects slot here. And because it's pointing at the compressor, the library now shows in subfolders compressor presets you can load onto the compressor. And the same for the EQ. Activate the blue arrow for the library so it points at the EQ now, and now all these subfolders are all EQ presets. If we click one of these, it'll load it onto the EQ. So it's really important when you're building a channel strip preset that before you save, you activate the blue arrow pointing at the settings slot, which means you are saving the whole setting for the channel. If it's pointing at one of these effects, when you hit save down here, you're going to be saving whatever the noise gate is set to. Okay, so blue arrow pointing at the top setting slot, and now we're ready to save our channel strip preset. Save. All right. And then I just go to my patch shortcut. I'm going to save it in it's audio, so this is a channel strip preset for an audio track, so we're going to save it in audio. I'm going to save it in voice. I mean, obviously, a gate, a compressor, and EQ could work for anything, for a guitar channel, for a drum channel. But I'm going to save it in voice, the subfolder voice. So double click on that, so we're in that folder. And I'm going to call it Vanilla Vocal. Bam, save, and there it is in the factory library location there, alongside all the other vocal channel strip presets. Okay. Now the only thing about factory channel strip presets that are in any of the factory locations is you can't select and delete them with the delete button here. So if you do create custom channel strip presets and save them into any factory location, to delete them, you can't delete them with the delete button here in the library. To delete them, you've got to go to your Finder, go to the patch location shortcut. In this case, I'm looking for Vanilla Vocal, which is in Audio Channel Strip Presets. Inside the Voice category, Vanilla Vocal Patch. There it is. And all I do is right-click and move to trash, and then when I refresh the library here, it will be gone. Okay, that's how you delete. All right. So there you go, that's how you do it. Now if we were to save this in the default location, I make my vanilla channel strip preset, make sure the blue arrow is pointing at the settings slot, and do save. Now where Logic wants you to save is in your user account, music, audio music apps, patches, and audio, because we're saving an audio channel strip preset. If I save it here, it's going to save it into user patches, and when I do that, a new, because it's the first user patch I'm saving, a new subfolder will appear at the top called user patches. I think it's the user patches. Save. Yeah, user patches. So user patches is created, and there's the one user patch I created in it. Now user patches saved into the default location where Logic wants you to save them in the user patches, they can be deleted, because they're not factory content in the factory location. Just select and use the delete button here. Now when I delete this Vanilla Vocal from the user patch location, which is not the same as our factory patch location here, when I go to delete it, because it's the last user patch in the audio category, this user patch subfolder will disappear when I delete this last user patch. Select it, delete. Do you really want to delete? Yes. It disappears, and the user patch folder disappears as well, because there's no more user patches. But in voice, in the factory location, there is my Vanilla Vocal still there in the factory location. Okay, let's do an instrument one. These are slightly different you've got to take care again with the blue arrow next to the things, because there's an extra slot with an instrument channel, the instrument slot. So create a software instrument track. Here's the channel. Again, the blue arrow is pointing at the settings slot, so I can go into any category and load a channel strip preset onto this instrument track, which loads not only the instrument, the raw instrument, but also any effects and everything that makes up the whole channel. Now again, you can load a channel strip preset from the library with all the effects and the instrument itself, tweak all those things, and save as a user patch, a custom patch, right? But I'm going to build one from scratch. So the instrument slot here, I'm going to install manually one of Logic's synths, the ESM. Boom. Notice the blue arrow jumps down. It's now pointing at the ESM in the instrument slot there. And because of that, the library shows ESM presets that we can load. These are synth patches for the actual synth. Now on it, I'm going to put, and again, a gate in case I want to do any stutter gating effects on this synth, and a compressor, and an EQ, just standard stuff. So there's some basic stuff on it whenever I load it up. I can always add any extra effects, right? Okay. So again, with the arrow pointing at the ESM synth in the instrument slot for the channel, if I go to save now, I'm saving the synth. However, which will save into the synth patches, but we want to save the whole channel, right? So make sure the blue arrow is active, pointing at the settings slot. Now we're ready to save the whole channel strip preset, the combination of the instrument itself and all the effects. Save. And again, I go to the patch location. This time we're saving an instrument channel strip preset. I'm going to save it in the subcategory synthesizer. Yeah. I'm going to save it in the subcategory of that, lead, and I'm going to call it Vanilla ESM, because it's just a straight ESM synth with some basic effects on. Bam, save, and there it is. Vanilla ESM in my factory location with all the other lead synth channel strip presets. Inside synthesizer, lead, there it is. Okay, that's how you do that. Now again, if I was going to save this in the default location Logic wants me to save it in, again, make sure the arrow's pointing at the settings slot at the top, so we're saving the whole channel strip, including the instrument and the effects. Save. This time I will save it in the default location Logic wants me to save it in, which is, again, user account, music, audio music apps, patches, but this time instrument instead of audio, because we're saving an instrument channel strip preset, right? Same title, save, and again, a user patch folder is created in the library at the top of all the instrument subcategories. There is my patch, my channel strip preset in user patches. Again, if I delete it, because it's the only patch in user patches, this user patch subcategory will disappear. Delete. Boom, user patches disappears. Right? So that's how you do that. Yeah? Are you not entertained? I tell you, it took me ages to find where they put the sodding thing. Bloody Apple, eh? Hiding it from us like that. But that's how you do it. Okay, I'm going to show you one more, which is slightly different. So make a new instrument track. This time we're going to do a drum kit, right? Not an electronic drum kit, a drum machine design. I'm going to do a drum kit, the type that the acoustic drummers play, but they can also be put onto an instrument track and triggered with your own MIDI patterns, right? Okay, now I'm going to go with a producer kit, because then I get multiple outs and everything, and also I get the full choice of drums to mix and match my own kit. I'm going to go with the unmixed producer patch kit, which is just really basic. Okay, boom, load it. Now all producer patch kits are track stacks. Open them out, and each drum has its own separate out, as well as there's outputs for room mics and all the rest of it, right? Okay, now we're going to do the same thing as we did when we did the vanilla ESM, all right? Which is in synthesizer lead. It should be, unless I deleted it. No, it is vanilla ESM there. Okay, so we've loaded our unmixed producer patch kit onto the track. But if we look at the channel at the top, the settings below the settings slot here says bus. This main, because all producer patch kits are track stacks, the main track and the channel for the main track is the group bus that all the individual drum channels are routed to as a final stereo channel. We open up the stack and choose the overheads, and it's the overheads that has the actual drum kit instrument on there. Right? So I'm going to open up. I'm not going to change any of the effects, because if I select each track, the channel, this is the kick inside mic track, and here's the channel for the kick inside mic. Okay, if we look in the mixer, this very basic unmixed kit, it's there's its main channel, its group bus, which has just got a basic EQ and a compressor on. Then on the first track and channel inside the stack is the drum kit, but there are no effects on any of the outputs or anything, right? Okay, that's why I'm using this one, because I can add effects myself. So you don't choose the main track that you've created and loaded the producer patch kit onto, because that main track is the group, its channel, the channel for that track is the group bus. It doesn't have the instrument on. You open up the stack and choose the overheads. Look at the channel here. There's the actual drum kit instrument. Now I'm going to open it and create my custom kit. Okay. So I'm going to make my the kit I use for doing basic reggae stuff. So pawn shop kick drum, and I take it out of all the extra channels, so it's only on its own dry channel. Nice dry kick drum. I use the bell brass. Sometimes I use a different one, but that one. But I heavily dampen it, tune it up. Well, not tune it. Sorry. Gain it up a bit, and again take it out of all the room mics and everything, so it's dry. Toms, I use the pawn shop toms. I tune them right up, dampen them, gain them up a smidge, and again take them out of all the extra channels, so just dry toms on their own channels. The hi-hat, I go with the modern bright or the vintage bright, and again take it out of the room and the overhead so that it's only going to its own dry channel. And then I don't use the ride in a reggae kit, so I'll leave that. The cymbals, I go with the modern bright or the vintage bright, and I dampen them down a bit so they don't decay so long, and take them out of the room so they're only going to the overheads. And then I've built my basic reggae kit. I can tweak it afterwards, right? Okay. Now on top of that, once I've changed the kit, I could then select the track for each individual drum and add effects if I wanted to before I save the whole kit. Right, so I could put a compressor on the kick drum and an EQ on the kick drum, and then the kick outside mic track and its channel. I could do the same. I could add any effects, just choose any individual drum like the hi-hat. There's its channel, add any effects I want on the hi-hat channel, etc. When I've finished the whole thing, I compact the stack. Make sure the arrow's pointing at the channel strip setting slot at the top. Save. And now I go to my patch location. Again, we're saving a channel strip preset for an instrument, a drum kit, and the subcategory drum kit. There's the stereo drum kits. Here's the producer kits, go into that, and there's all the producer patch kits. And I'm going to save it as reggae basic 1, in case I create a second one, right? Reggae basic 1. Bam, save. There it is in producer kits in the library. Okay, so that's how you would do that. And if it was a Drum Machine Designer one, let's do it again. Software instrument, create, load up electronic kit, Drum Machine Designer. Now again, let's load up the after party. Again, well, Drum Machine Designer, when you load a Drum Machine Designer onto a track, in the mixer, it's a channel strip, it's a stack that can be opened out, and all the individual drum channels are there. But the track itself is not a track stack. So there's no need to open it out this time. The Drum Machine Designer instrument actually lives there on the main channel, which is also the group bus, right? So I open it up, I create my custom kit however I want it, load the different sounds that I want, like snare. This takes me to the snares in the library, load different snares, load different drums, whatever I want, and that's it. I'm ready to go. Okay, so make sure the blue arrow's pointing at the setting slot at the top. Save. Patch location. Patch location again, we're saving an instrument, we're saving a drum machine, we're saving a drum machine designer. There's the kits, channel strip preset kits. I'm going to call it After Party 2. Save. Well, there it is in my library, After Party 2. Okay. So you do it like that. Let's just do one more again, because it's like where the instrument is the relevant thing. Again, a software instrument. This time we're going to go with an electronic drum kit, but not a drum machine designer one. We're going to go with the straight drum machine. These are the straight Ultrabeat ones. I'm going to go with the Boutique 909. Load it. Again, it's a track stack. The main track, the channel for that track is the bus. So we open up the track stack, choose the kick track. There is the channel for the kick track. The Ultrabeat is on it. Now I go to the Ultrabeat. There, right? And if there's the Ultrabeat, which has the 909 kit, which we started with, the Boutique 909, right? If I bring the arrow, the blue arrow, to point at the Ultrabeat there, now we're looking at Ultrabeat stuff in the library. So I can load up any Ultrabeat kit. Now these are the same as the kits here. Drum kits, right? Adept Machine, African Kit, Analog Techno Kit, etc. Okay, and you've got the drum banks as well. Look, drum banks. Yeah. Tutorial settings. So you just can load any kit into the Ultrabeat, but that doesn't affect the outputs and everything like that, the separate channels. So you can change the kit here, load a different kit if you want, or you go to each individual drum, tweak the settings, change the sample, whatever you want, till you've got your custom Ultrabeat kit. Okay, then choose the main track again, the track stack master, which is the group bus, compact it, make sure the arrow is pointing to the setting slot, save, patches, instrument, drum machine, but not drum machine designer. Okay, we just save in drum machine, and there's the patches that you see in the library there. Adept Machine, Boutique 78. So we just save it here. We don't go into Drum Machine Designer or Drum Machine GB. I'm going to call it Boutique 909 2. Bam, save. There it is next to Boutique 909. And this can be a variation where I've put some of my own samples in or whatever. That's how you do that, right? So, where you're creating a channel strip preset, saving to the factory, and it's a track stack. That's how you do that. Open it out, find the track which has the channel with the instrument on, open the instrument, make your alterations, change any effects you want on any of the channels for any of the outputs, compact the whole thing, make sure the arrow's pointing at the setting slot, save, bim bam bong, do it like that. Okay, alright, so there you go. And I hope that has been useful.